All right, what's up, everybody? November 5th, another episode of Stand Tall. We're in the Art of War, and we're on chapter 2, and we're actually going to end on verse 5. So we might get a little bit more in a groove, but probably not. 13 and 14 are together. Look at that. 4. Now, when your weapons are dulled, your ardor damped, your strength exhausted, and your treasure spent, other chieftains will spring up to take advantage of your extremity. Then no man, however wise, will be able to avert the consequences that must ensue. Okay, so just as he was talking about a protracted campaign, the resources of the state will not be equal to the strain. And this is saying that, like, when your enemies and other chieftains notice this, they're going to take advantage of your extremity, right? Of your impoverishment, maybe. 5. Thus, though we have heard of stupid haste in war, cleverness has never been associated with long delays. And I like that one as well. It does speak to this previous part of me, and I think a lot of people are very like over analytical, and they have to have like all of the facts and the figures before they make a decision. But he's saying right here that the longer, like long delays is not necessarily clever either. And though, like, while being hasty can be associated with being stupid, we do know the concept now of like blitzkrieg and things like that. And so getting things done fast and just taking action doesn't necessarily mean you're acting in haste, but it does mean that you can't sit around and just plan and plan and plan and strategize because eventually you're going to run out of resources. So let's go over to an alternate translation. Master Sun says, when your forces are dulled, your edge is blunted, your strength is exhausted, and your supplies are gone, then others will take advantage of your debility and rise up. So Lee Kwan says to this, a large-scale operation involves enormous expense, but only not breaks you down in the field, but exhausts you at home. All right, Master Sun says, therefore, I have heard of military operations that were clumsy but swift, but I have never seen one that was skillful and lasted a long time. Okay, so I like this translation a little bit better because, okay, well, because it says exactly that, exactly what we're thinking and what it means. Uh, it has never been beneficial to a nation to have a military operation continue for a long time. Cao Cao says, some win through speed, even if they are clumsy. Du Mu says, some may be clumsy in attack, but they get the upper hand through extraordinary swiftness because they are not subject to the problems of wearing out their forces and using up their resources. And Chin Hao says, as it is said, be swift as the thunder that peals before you have a chance to cover your ears, fast as the lightning that flashes before you can blink your eyes. I think that just says to us that we need to go after what we want. The more we plan, it says right there, it's just ignorant in a way. It just means that, like, the longer you sit around and do nothing, then that's not clever. There's no cleverness, like Sun Tzu says. November 5th from the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. November 5th, a higher power. This is the very thing which makes up the virtue of the happy person and a well flowing life. When the affairs of life are in every way tuned to the harmony between the individual divine spirit and the will of the director of the universe. Chrysippus quoted in Diogenes Laertius, Lives of the Eminent Philosophers, 7.1.88. Okay. In undergoing a 12-step program, many addicts struggle most with step 2, acknowledging a higher power. Addicts often fight this one. At first, they claim it's because they're atheist, or because they don't like religion, or because they don't understand why it matters. But later realize that this is just the addiction talking. It's another form of selfishness and self-absorption. The actual language of the step is pretty easy to swallow. We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Subsequent steps ask the addict to submit and let go. The second step really has less to do with God than those other steps, the letting go. It's about attuning to the universe and discarding the toxic idea that we're at the center of it. It's no wonder that the Stoics are popular with those in 12-step programs. It's also clear that this wisdom is beneficial to us all. You don't have to believe that there's God directing the universe. You just need to stop believing that you're that director. As soon as you can attune your spirit to that idea, the easier and happier your life will be, because you will have given up the most potent addiction of all, control. Huh. That's very interesting, because we have to just more or less kind of like accept the things that life throws at us, because there's just so many randomness, random happenings and outliers and oddities and just so many variables that just can't be controlled. And I think like that's why when you have people who are like control freaks and they don't get their what, it's just all of that. Like the sooner that you can just like let go of the fact that you're not in control, then you can take Sun Tzu's advice, right? And you can be hasty. While it may not always be the right thing, it might seem foolish, but being hasty and doing the blitzkrieg and just like giving up the fact that you're not gonna have everything set in stone, and you're not gonna like have all of the answers to all of the potential outcomes, and you just let go, knowing that like no matter what happens, just the like whatever happens next, right? Like just like he says in his book title, the obstacle is the way. And so like even if you plan, you're still gonna run into these obstacles. So sorry, a little under the weather. Had been having a lot of nausea lately, and I'm feeling it right now. Excuse me. There's a good point I was going to try to wrap it up to, but just going in, being like Sun Tzu says, like the longer that you wait and protract your thoughts and your actions, that certainly is foolish, as opposed to like taking action, being adaptable, and getting after it. All right, guys, keep standing tall out there. We'll see you on the next one.